So Nikon launched a Tamron, or that's what people are talking about. Nikon sneaked in a 28 to 75 f2.8 constant aperture normal zoom. That's a great news because it's only 565 grams in weight and only about 1200 US dollars. I'm not too sure about the price, but that's where the price is going to be at. Now, apparently, there's a partnership between Nikon and Tamron, and this product is a result of that partnership. Tamron have been making this lens for the Sony mount for some time now, about 3.5 years back. They made the first version of this lens, and very recently Tamron launched the G2 or the version 2 of this lens. Now, the Tamron lens comes at about 550 grams. This is about 15-16 grams heavier than that. Now I'm not sure whether the Nikon lens is based on the version 1 or the version 2. The expectation will be clearly to for Nikon to base this on the G2 because that's a newer lens, and you don't want a lens that's 3 years older, right? So at least optically, especially when Nikon lenses are so good right now with the Z mount lenses. This is not going to be an S lens, but I think this is not meant to be about the highest level of quality. Why it's important though is because precisely because of that, the price of the weight, because now a lot of Nikon users uh, were actually wishing that they could get the benefit of the third party cheap light lenses like the Sony users enjoy. I mean, they have so many manufacturers making lenses for them. It becomes uh, the larger option, and based on the kind of money you have at this point, you can plan your purchases. So a lot of Nikon users want that freedom, and I have the Z5 and the owners right now in my mind, the Z6 owners who are probably buying it used, and they're probably looking at a single prime, but right now with this lens they can think of buying a constant f2, which straddles the entire zoom range from 28 to 72. So that's actually very good news. It's really practical. Now a lot of people who own the S line of lenses, the 24 to 70 f4 or the f2.8, they'll say, this makes no sense. The Tamron lens is nowhere in terms of quality compared to the Nikon lenses. Well, that could be true, but then the person who is not buying one of those Z lenses is because they don't have the money, or they have other priorities right now, right? So if they do not want to spend that amount of money in a lens like that, it's okay if Nikon provides them with this option. I really appreciate that. I think that's so this is, like I say, this is not about the absolute highest level of quality, but this is about practicality. It's about portability. The Nikon 2.8 lens is about more than 800 grams in weight, but this one is a little more than 550 grams. So there's a lot of difference. The most important thing, however, that stands out for me because of what Nikon just did is the fact that is this realization that Nikon is actually listening. Nikon are listening to people, and this is a result of that. This was not on the lens roadmap, and suddenly Nikon just sneaked it in almost as a Christmas gift for a lot of people. And I can see a lot of people reaching out for this lens. Right now you could actually get one of those Sony E mount to Z mount adapters and then fitting some of the Sony lenses, but they're never as good as putting on a native lens on the body. So this is exciting news, and I think this is probably a first step for a lot of such products to come. And I think that is more important than just this lens and what this lens is in itself. When the Sony A7C was launched, and back then Samyang had launched the tiny series of lenses, and I was very jealous about the Sony system, honestly, just because of the portability and the ease of use. A beautiful looking tiny camera with a lot of third party cheap tiny lenses. I mean, that's a really good deal. It's a nice setup. So right now I can see that with the introduction of the 40 mm f2, the 28 mm 2.8, and the 26 mm lens that's on the roadmap right now. We don't know the aperture value of that lens, but I'm assuming somewhere around 3.5 to 4 f4. But that's a full frame lens again. So these lenses, they show me that Nikon is serious about being a So Nikon is really plugging the gaps in, And look, Sony has a lot of third-party lens manufacturers supporting them right now. They have Sigma, Samyang, Rokinon, Viltrox. So all these makers are making lenses for Sony, but for Nikon, you only have got Viltrox, and Viltrox is doing very good stuff. Their lenses, I just got the Z50 with the Viltrox. I'll do a review on that with the Viltrox 33 1.4 APS-C. I think Viltrox has done have taken fantastic steps in making this, especially the APS-C line, relevant, and also for the full frame line relevant for a lot of people who want a more budget friendly setup. If Nikon has decided not to open the mount up to Tamron and Sigma for some time to come, I don't see that happening with Canon either. Uh, in that context, I think this is a very welcome step, because this also tells me that we may not see third-party lenses, as in Tamron and the Sigmas of the world, making Z-mount Tamrons and Sigmas, because Nikon is in talks with them and figuring out a way to kind of provide that sort of value to the customers, right? So the third-party lenses may not come anytime soon, but as long as Nikon is there supporting the audience with similar products through whatever means, through a partnership, or they come up with new designs, it's fine for me. In my books, it's great. So I think we should be positive about this news and not be overly critical about how this lens is not the same as the 2.8 or the f4s line lenses. It's not meant to be that, right? It's not meant to be a Ferrari at the price of a Honda, right? It's not meant to be that. So it is built to the price, and it is priced for the market. So that's what one thing we need to keep in mind. So all in all, this is a great news. I'm very happy, and there was no mention of it in the lens roadmap, but then suddenly yet it's here, and this is wonderful. So Nikon is not sitting idle after all the accolades it got for the Z9, and I think a lot of other products are working in the background, and I think another period of a lot of conversation, buzz, and news is going to happen on for Nikon very soon. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and do subscribe, and I'm going to see you very soon with another video.